Hi guys, and welcome to the latest episode of Hidden Treasures. It's good to be back, but before we get started, as always, if you haven't done so already, please remember to subscribe to our YouTube channel and hit that notification bell so you're kept up to date with every new item that goes on our YouTube. What are we talking about this week? This week we have another item which I first saw around about 25 years ago. And if you haven't seen it before, I think you are going to love it. It's the first time I saw it actually was at the West Bromwich Dealers Day. Me and Jen used to travel up there. It was a lovely little dealers day. I think it still goes on now. It was called the Original Car Boot Sale at the time, and it was a great collection of dealers. Back in the day we would have Practical Magic. Keith Bennett used to be there. There was a dealer as well that I'm going to mention now. I believe they were called Phoenix Magic, and it was a magician called Phil Fenton. Now, me and Phil become great mates, and he was one of the best magic demonstrators I think I've ever seen. For the fact that he was a great pitch man. He was very much in the league of Mark Mason when it comes to pitching, full of the jokes. Used to do some great magic, but really got the punters in, really got the crowd in when he was doing the magic. Now, this was one of the tricks that I first saw Phil do, and it was a new trick at the time. I think we had just got it, if I remember rightly, we had just got it in a few days before, and I hadn't had a chance to look at it. And then we went to the dealer's day and I was speaking to Phil, and Phil demonstrated it on me, and I fell in love with it, and I learnt it as soon as I got home. I don't think we got home. It was in West Bromwich. It was about a sort of 4-hour drive from us. And I think by the time we left there and got home, it was about 6 in the evening. And I think I immediately started learning it as soon as I got home. I loved it so much. Now, why do I like it so much? Anyone that follows any of my videos, that have seen me on the vlogs or anything, had a conversation with me about what my favourite plots are in Magic. One of my favourites is what we call the colour changing deck. And why is it one of my favourites? Well, I find that with a colour changing deck, you get this beautiful visual impact right at the end, and it's usually a kicker. And it's so strong. I remember back in the days when I saw my very first colour changing deck, and I believe it was in Davenport's Magic Shop. And I think it was a guy called Paul Henry that showed me it. And he performed a colour changing deck on me. And honestly, I was speechless. I had never seen a colour changing deck, especially not one done to me close up. It all looked so fair, it all looked so clean, and I just remember that feeling, and I've never forgot that feeling to this day. Now, it's in Magic, we go through different sort of levels as we progress through Magic, and one of the things that quite sadly happens, especially happened to me, is where we understand more methods and we get fooled by less things, we lose that magical feeling. We lose that layman feeling, which is a big shame, because that is why we got into Magic. But that feeling of seeing that first colour changing deck is still with me. I know how I felt when I saw it. I know how magical it felt to see that deck change colour. It was incredible, and since that day I've loved colour changing decks. Now, when I talk about colour changing decks, that falls to me in the same category as effects where at the end all the cards have got blank faces. It's that visual change, it's that beautiful change, and it's that sort of weird scenario at the end where this was blue and it's now red, or a rainbow deck, or the cards were printed, or I believe they were printed, now they're all blank. It's like it really happened by magic. So the effect I'm going to talk to you about is another effect by John Bannon. A few weeks ago I done Twisted Sisters. Now Bannon had, when we were getting back into magic with Alakazam Magic, Bannon was quite a prolific producer of magic and creator of magic. He still is today, but we had a lot of his packet tricks coming out. We had Twisted Sisters, we had Call of the Wild, which was another great one that I might visit on one of these episodes. And that was another one that Phil Fenton always used to demonstrate. And this was another home run for John Bannon. It's a trick called Stranger's Gallery. So let's take a look at a performance now. Harry, we're going to try something out, a little card trick actually. Just using a card, but you're not going to pick one in the normal way. And before we get started, I'm going to take myself 1, 2, 3 little prediction cards, okay? And those cards are going to come from different parts in the deck. We've got one in the bottom, one in the middle, one in the top, okay?
Yeah.
Now here's the thing, you're going to choose yourself a playing card as well. And we're going to do that by running my fingers down the pack like this. Just say stop wherever you like.
Stop.
There?
Yeah.
Do you want me to go further?
No, I'm happy
back?
with that. No,
sure?
I'm happy with that, yeah.
Okay, we're going to take the card you stopped at, which is the 9 of diamonds. And here's the thing, do you remember I placed the 3 prediction cards on the table?
Yeah.
Yeah? You chose the 9 of diamonds. Now my prediction cards are going to tell me something about your 9.
Right.
All right? All we have to do is just tap it here, and the first prediction card will tell me your card was a red card.
Yeah.
Yeah? And the second one will tell me your card was a diamond. Was it a diamond?
Yeah.
Yeah, brilliant. And the third one will say it was the 9 of diamonds.
Yeah.
Now I know what you're thinking. How on earth could there be 1, 2, 3 and 4 9 of diamonds in the same pack?
I'm thinking that.
You are thinking that. See, this is where I fooled you, Harry, because if we take this 9 of diamonds, give it a little rub here, you will see that's not from a blue back, it's actually from a black back.
Okay.
Yeah, a little bit strange.
Yeah.
And it's hard to tell, actually.
Yeah.
But this next one should be a bit easier, because if we rub that there, you'll see that's not from a blue back,
There
that's
we
from
go,
a white
yeah.
back. And if that's not bright enough for you, the third one we'll push for our hands, that will turn to a yellow back. Now here's the thing, we've now got 4 9 of diamonds, 1 from a yellow back, 1 from a white back, 1 from a black back, and of course 1 from a blue back. The question is, Harry, which one of these came from that deck?
Blue one.
The blue one, that's what you would think, but if we snap our fingers, you'll realise you're actually wrong because the deck itself is actually red.
What the heck?
So that's Stranger's Gallery. How cool is that? I mean, it's a great effect to play to people. I mean, obviously I'm on camera here and I rushed it a bit. I sort of run through it quite quickly. But you've got these beautiful changes. You've got these beautiful changes where the cards change card by card. And then you have a kicker. This is a routine that's in Andy Smith's current repertoire. And he ends it with a rainbow deck. Imagine the visuals on that when you've got 4 different cards here and then you spread and every single card is a different colour. It's an absolute killer. Now it's really, really easy to do. People think colour changing decks are very hard to do. There's deck switches involved. Most of the good ones, the deck's in play from the start. It's just a very clever handling. Now, Stranger's Gallery is a very simple effect to do. I'm sure that a lot of you would have followed along if you've got the knowledge of the moves. You would have followed along with what was happening there. It's just such a clean, impressive, visual, eye-popping, and it really does gauge a reaction from the audience. It is such a good routine. I can't praise it enough. So in the pack, you get all the gimmicks you need. All you need to do is add your own red deck. If you want more information on Stranger's Gallery, hit that info button just up there. Now I'm sure a lot of you that watch Hidden Treasures, I know from the comments that you leave underneath that a lot of you have been doing magic a long time, and I'm sure you would have come across Stranger's Gallery. It's something that you would have to have been living under a rock 20 years ago not to have heard of it, because like I said before in previous Hidden Treasures, there weren't a lot of tricks coming out back then, and tricks really stood the test of time. So nowadays the shelf life of a trick might be 3 weeks. Back then it was a good few years. You know, you would go into a shop, you would go up to a stand at a convention. What's new? They'll show you a trick that was 2 years old, but unless you had been to a convention or been to a shop, you wouldn't have seen it. So this was a trick that was around for a long time, and it is a true classic. So that's bringing us to the end of this week's Hidden Treasures. Now, I'm always interested to hear what hidden treasures you still perform. So let me know in the comments, and let me know what you think of Stranger's Gallery, and if you perform a colour changing deck, and if you do, which one do you perform? So before I go, don't forget, if you haven't done so already, hit that subscribe button and hit that notification bell, because we add new content to the YouTube channel daily, and the notification bell will notify you as soon as a new video goes live. So thank you very much for watching Hidden Treasures. I can't wait to unearth some of these other classics for you in future episodes. I'll see you soon.